to meet Clifton.
With your host, Ray Grabowski.
Here's Ray.
Hi, welcome everyone. Thank you. Happy New Year. Good evening and welcome to Meet Clifton. I'm your host, Ray, and beside me is my co-host, George Silva. How you doing, George?
I'm doing fine. Happy New Year to
Thank you
and the family.
And hopefully it's a happy and healthy one. And
We'll have a good show for the rest of the year.
Hopefully we have a good time in Clifton
Yes, we will.
this year. Okay, well, the holidays may be over, but there's still plenty of Meet Clifton to warm your hearts on this cold January evening. So sit back, relax while the Two Tones play us in. Hit it, guys.
Tonight on Meet Clifton, Ray sits down with, representing the Clifton Avenue of Flags Committee, Joe Tuzzolino. Founder of Power of One, Kim Castellano. And travel agent, Norm Tahan. With more music by the Two Tones Orchestra. All this and more on Meet Clifton.
Welcome back. Thank you, Two Tones, for that great song. I always like, you always surprise me with different songs every week. I never know what you're going to play, but thanks a lot. Today, a few weeks back, I guess, or a few shows back, we had Mr. Joe Tuzzolino from the Flag Barn on talking about the Avenue of the Flags. But tonight, first, let me welcome him back, Joe. Thanks for coming on the show again. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Joe Tuzzolino is a Flag Barn volunteer. And, you know, a lot of people in Clifton, they know that we have, what, 1,700?
835.
835 flags, right?
Yes.
And we're supposed to get more coming up, aren't we?
Yes, yes, we are. We have around 160 flags that will be put up in our Field of Honor, which is all the veterans from Clifton from World War I on to Iraq, Afghanistan, that were killed in action.
Wow. Okay, now the Field of Honor, that's something new.
Yeah, that came about a couple of years ago when, before I was involved in it, the gentleman down there decided to honor our veterans that were killed in action. And they have a separate field, which is right across the street from our barn by the cannon. And they started putting the names up, going through the names that they found on a memorial down in Maine Memorial Park. And we put up flags for them.
Okay.
And I guess there's close to 100-something flags there already.
And so the new flags are going to be used for this area?
Yes, the new flags are going to be used for that area. And it's a great honor to honor our veterans that were killed in action.
And you have to, because, you know, we have to take pride in our country, especially our veterans. We can't thank them enough. And this is one way of showing everyone that, especially in Clifton, that we respect the veterans.
Well, I'm a veteran, and I know that respect from people means a lot to me, and I'm sure it means a lot to the veterans out there. And for me doing it, it's a great honor to be part of that.
Right.
Right.
Yes, definitely.
You know, to bring honor to these gentlemen, especially the fallen gentlemen.
Sure. And I know in Clifton, you know, Clifton's a big respected veteran town. We don't just feign interest in the fact that we respect our veterans. We try to show it, and obviously by the Avenue of the Flags. It's this fantastic thing. Probably the largest that I know of.
The largest that I know of, and it's quite impressive when you come up there and you go out there and you walk among the flags and the people that have family members there, and hear the flags flapping in the breeze.
It's amazing. More people should see it.
It's a great thing.
And now, on the same note, we're starting a new project.
Yes.
You know that the Avenue of Flags is a nonprofit organization, and we need money, and you have to raise it yearly. Now, you and the committee came up with a new idea, and that's what we're going to discuss, hopefully to get some interest. So if you could explain this new program.
Yes. A couple months back, I'm the new guy there, so you know I guess I came in with some new ideas. I work for a company that has a lot of sponsors.
Right.
And it's a training company, and we get the sponsors, and we show their gear in our classes that we teach. And I think, why can't we do that here? So I put this out for the committee members. It's called Sponsor a Section.
Right.
We have 28 sections right now. And to sponsor a section, First of all, it's a $350 annual sponsorship. All right. In that sponsorship, your section, I have here a our first demonstration plaque is from the city of Clifton.
Right.
It says the city of Clifton proudly sponsors Section 1, which is right out in the front of headquarters here. And it has the city logo, and it has the officials from the city on there. This is what I'm showing the people. We have, if people buy into the sponsorship program, they will have a plaque that looks like that, but with their information.
Right. I know you have one here. I don't know if you
Right.
can see that.
My family had bought a section, Section 2.
Right.
My family, which is my father, my brother, my 5 uncles, my brother-in-law, and most of them are gone, have passed. So it's a great honor when we set up the flags and my whole family is
Right.
together.
Oh, this is
All
great
right? And,
Super.
and we put these in the section
that you
right
sponsor.
right in the center of the section that the people will sponsor. So when people come along and look at the flags, they'll come up and they'll see this flag is sponsored by Ray,
Right.
or whoever sponsors it, so, or a company.
Right, exactly. Anyone who wants
anybody
to
who
give up
wants
the
it.
fee. And I think, Joe, what you're telling me is this is nice, and I think people at home should really take interest in this because it's limited. There's only, how many of these, Joe?
We have 28 sections.
28 sections, so it's going to be first come, first serve. It's a great honor to have your name even displayed in Clifton, and out of respect for our veterans. So I'm thinking if someone's really interested, they would contact you at the...
They would contact me or anyone at the flag barn.
And an application, right?
They would pick up an application that looks like this, has all the information on it. It shows you what it looks like. And you put down all your information. And if you want to put a logo, say your company logo, or like we have here, the American flag, you can have that added. It's all included in the price.
Joe, one question, it's tax deductible, correct?
It is tax deductible. We are a 50C3 nonprofit organization.
A 501, okay. But either way, it's a nonprofit organization, it's tax
501.
deductible.
Beautiful.
And, if you do this and you sponsor for a year, you have to re-up it every year. But if, let's say, maybe you can only afford to do it 1 year or so, that's fine. And because there'll be so many people wanting to do this, so even if you did it for a year or two, give someone else a chance to honor the veterans in the city. It's a great thing. And over here also, when you get the application, you could almost design what you want. I think Joe has it. We know you can put your name. He'll show you a sample,
Right.
like he showed me. You come down, and you can pretty much put whatever you want on. So is there anything else you want? I think just that we want to get this project rolling. How quickly?
Yeah, that's our problem was we've been doing this right now by word of mouth, from passing it along to people. We have no internet to get the word out. We just got it, but it's
Right.
still slow. And we need to get the word out to the people who might be interested in this. And,
Okay. That's why we're doing it today. I'd like to thank Joe for coming on, but it's important. If you're watching this and you know someone that wants to sponsor, please call immediately, come down to the senior barn, come to City Hall, anyone in town, or any one of us, contact us any way you can. We're definitely glad to give Joe your number or come down and see him. It's important that we get this thing rolling as quickly as possible.
Yes.
Yes.
So, Joe, thank you.
We would like to have, we're going to set up as many as we have for Memorial Day. That'll be the first day that the flags
Yeah.
come up.
And hopefully some people watch this. Please, this is a great cause, and we need to do this for our city to keep us one step of everyone else as far as honoring the country and our veterans. So thank you very much. Hopefully we'll have some interest. Lee Clifton will be right back after this.
Hi everyone, I have a special plea for you this winter season. Your help is needed this winter. Donations are needed to help warm the homeless. Requested items are hats, scarves, gloves or mittens, chapsticks, hand warmers, and foot warmers. All donations can be brought to the Clifton Health Department on 900 Clifton Avenue, Monday through Friday, 8:15 a.m. to 4:15 p.m. If you prefer to make a monetary gift, you can do so by making checks payable to St. Peter's Haven, Please note Project Homeless Connect in the memo. 100% of donations will be used for Project Homeless Connect. If you have any questions, you can call Jennifer Kidd. Her phone number is 973-470-5774, and we thank you in advance.
Okay, thank you for sticking with us. In any community, there are those who are in need of coaching or just a little push to be able to meet their goals. Our next guest has created a 501c organization committed to giving these types of people access to workshops and counseling so they can get on their feet. Please help me welcome Kim Castellano from The Power of One.
Thanks so much for coming again.
Thank you.
Okay, about a year ago, we had Kim on the show, and that was because we were sponsoring, well, she was actually backpacks for the kids in school, which is part of what she does. She does a lot of volunteer work, but tonight we're going to talk about her nonprofit, which is actually, she's getting a lot of press. Her organization is called The Power of One, and maybe Kim could explain to us a little bit, what is The Power of One?
Well, The Power of One actually was a nonprofit that I created for actually all the things that I do. Normally, I was just like a volunteer helping people, just getting their life back on track. So, and I always loved working with the working poor. So what I did was we formed this 501c just so that I would have a vehicle to do such a thing. Right. So we've created workshops to meet that need.
And so I'm trying to understand what this all does. You counsel people?
Well, I mean, it's
all
Christian,
kinds of people?
all
right.
kinds
So
of people. Anyone who actually is interested in a coach, someone who just needs someone that, you know, you just need like a pep talk, kind of, like just a good conversation with someone.
Almost like a life coach?
Like a life coach.
Okay, now, and this is steeped in a little bit of a ministry thing, a Christian type of...
Right, so it's faith-based, it's my faith. So
Faith.
I'm the one who has the faith.
Right.
You know, you don't need to have the same faith as me to be coached.
Right.
So we're really open to everyone of all faiths to just come and have a conversation. And it's the coaching techniques, it's those questions, those hard questions that, you know, some people don't know how to ask those questions.
Right.
So it helps people to come up with their own answers.
Okay, so it's like an outreach.
Yeah, it's an outreach.
Sort of.
So if there's people who are struggling, let's just say there's someone who's, maybe like something easy would be, someone's in a job where they're really not happy with, and they're really frustrated. And there's a lot of people that are like that. Their skills aren't the right skills for the job, but they're just staying stuck. So if you sit with me, we'll discover what are you good at, what are you passionate about, what's your natural gifting, and then start pursuing a career in that way. And most people, this year, we've done at least 3 of those kind of coaching. Right. So people have soared out of the job that they couldn't stand anymore, and they...
Right, so it's a counseling thing.
It's a counseling.
Kim,
You can
is
use
this
the
like
counseling.
One-on-one?
Well, we do one-on-ones.
Or you do with groups too, right?
And the groups. The groups are fun. Usually people come to the groups first to see what this is all about.
Okay.
Then they actually come on board and get like...
Right, now you're saying we, who's we? Because there's more than just yourself.
Well, Kelly helps. You know, I have Kelly Keel.
So you have volunteers that work
And
with
all volunteers.
Here's the organization.
The organization is run by over 100 volunteers.
Right. Wow, 100 volunteers.
Yeah, it takes a lot to do those backpacks.
No, I can imagine.
So we have a lot of volunteers. So what happens is someone will come on and they'll get coached. So then they find out all the other things that we do when they become a volunteer.
Yeah, what I'm trying to find out here is what I'm trying to ascertain is how do they find you? You know, someone's walking through life and I don't know, they're just disoriented with their life. How do they find you?
So I think right now there's just like a big talk about being coaches. Like there's a lot of coaching. You can get business coaching, executive coaching. So just recently someone had Googled Christian life coaching, and I came up, and she's from Newark. Okay. So they're looking, people are looking for a life coach. They're not looking for a counselor. Right. But sometimes they need counseling.
Yeah, no, and
then we're going to send them over to the counselor.
Okay, so right now, where are you based? Where are you doing most of your work?
Right now, we're doing all our workshops. This whole past year was at Woodrow Wilson Middle School. So we're like, big shout out to the schools to say thank you for that space. Right. We've coached in those workshops over 70 people this past year. Wow. So those workshops that you see advertised, you know, there's 4 weeks, 5 weeks. Right. So they do 5 weeks of the stress coaching. They get all the skills that they need. Okay. Then they start a 4-week journey about discovering what they're really, what their life purpose is.
Right. Now, how are you funded?
I
Because
was gonna ask.
Well,
Yeah, I know.
donations,
Yeah.
all donations,
Okay.
and then the groups, we're always saying that $10 suggest, $10 donation
Right.
is suggested. Some people don't have the money, so we have sponsorships. People sponsor.
okay.
So it's all donations.
So you
That's-
solicit money also from different organizations
Yes.
too, right? Maybe
Yes.
even maybe political organization, maybe the
anyone,
freeholders or the county.
anyone who believes in, reaching the working poor and helping people get from, where they are to where they're supposed to be. And that could be just anything.
Okay.
Have
All
you
right.
gone into the 501 since you have the 501? How about grants?
Well, I never really went for the grants. Everything was just being funded on its own. So you need a structure. So having those coaching workshops has
Right.
given me something to go after a grant for, because
Okay.
Yeah,
if you didn't
okay.
have anything,
Right,
so
okay.
now we have something.
Okay.
We know it works. We coach people. We've
Right.
counseled people.
So now what I understand is now, moving forward, okay, because
Yeah.
this is very big. Everyone needs a home base or a base. Now, I know, just tell us what's the future of Power of One.
Well, one of the frustrating things was having a place where someone can come in all the time. So using free space in Panera's, using free space in Dunkin' Donuts,
Right.
and the schools, it's just not good enough.
Right.
So we've secured a home base.
Oh, great.
So we're going to be on Van Houten Ave.
Okay.
I guess starting February. You'll
Right.
hear more about that. I'm really excited. I'm taking a huge leap of faith to saying
course.
that, this is funded by volunteers and by donations.
Right.
So I'm putting myself out there for a home base because I want to really help more people.
Sure.
But I think if we can get walk-ins,
Right.
they'll see it. They may not want to go to the workshops, but maybe
Right.
just one day.
And the
they'll
fact
come
that you
through.
have a physical structure that you
Right.
could actually have people come by.
Yes.
They drive by, they see it, they've heard of you, they
Yes,
see
they've
this.
seen
Now
all
they
this.
see the Power of One.
Right.
And it might even be just like a comforting place for someone to come.
Just-
And sometimes people just need someone to talk. And
Right, so you can just stop in for a cup of coffee.
Or tea.
So or tea. I do tea. So they can come in for a bottle of water, a cup of tea,
Okay.
and there'll be someone there to talk to them. And if
Okay.
they need help, we can direct them in the way
Okay.
that they need help.
So this is where Kim's going with this. We hope she's successful. I know she
Yes.
will be.
We
'cause
need to be.
Everything she's touched, turns to gold, and she's helped so many people in Clifton. And now that she's going to have this permanent place, we're going
I'm
to stop
really
in and see
excited.
you. So people at home, please, if you need to contact her, Kim Castellano. I'm sure she'll advertise the new space coming
Yes.
up. And thanks for coming on, explaining to us. And
Yes, exciting.
Best
Thank
of
you
luck.
for having me. Yes,
Thank
it's
you.
exciting.
Thank you.
Thank you, George.
It's great to see you.
Yes, thank you, Clifton.
Hi, Clifton. Welcome to the updates. We have some fun things coming up. Lambert Castle is hosting their Masquerade Ball Valentine's Day, and that's February 9th on Friday, 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. Tickets are $25. Call 973-247-0085. Then a new theater group is happening. It's Orange Avenue Community Theater. They're having their Valentine's Cabaret Dinner Show, and that's February 10th, 6:30. Call for tickets, and that is 201-694-2015. And Mario's Restaurant with the Theater League of Clifton is having their Trouble at the Tropicabana, and that is in late February, so call 973-928-7668 for your tickets.
The Clifton hockey team is having their beefsteak and turkey tray on Friday, January 19th. Doors open at 6:30. Price is $40 a couple. I'm sorry, $40 a person. Maureen, 973-572-6009. And the Boys and Girls Club also is having a comedy night. Come at your own risk with Michael Rakowski and his posse of 3 New York City comics. January 26th, $40 per person. Reservations are required. John DeGraff, 973-773-0966, extension 111.
Thanks. We're looking forward to seeing you at all the events.
Okay, welcome back, and thank you, ladies, for the updates. It would be nice if we support some of these events because most of it's all for Clifton, and 9 out of 10 times these are charity events. So to keep Clifton running, please support some of these events. It would be a great thing. My next guest today, a lot of people have been traveling around, and now in today's age with the internet and things like that, you have to wonder about travel agencies and travel agents. Is there still a need for them? What's important? So with me tonight is Mr. Norm Tahan, travel agent.
Right.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for coming on. And as I was saying, well, I'm sure everybody tries to take things in their own hands. Now, I know that's not a good thing, but explain why it's better to use a travel agency.
Well, because like any other profession, we know what we're doing, we have expertise in what we're doing, and we know where to go in case there's confusion or some difficulties with some travel. If you're just booking an airfare or something like that, or just a hotel somewhere for a couple nights somewhere, yeah, going on the internet's okay. But if you're planning an extensive trip in Europe or the Caribbean or in the South Pacific, it's more important to go to a travel agency because although we've not been every place in the world, we have. Most of us have traveled quite a bit, and if we haven't been to certain places, we're knowledgeable about other places because there's updates and continuing ed that we have to do. I mean, most of the hotels, Disney has like you have to update yourself every year because they want you to be certified to sell their product. Right. So it's important to go to a travel agency because we can offer a personal touch to things. Right. Most brides, our biggest income is from weddings, honeymoons, of course, and destination weddings too. And brides don't want to go on the internet for their honeymoon.
I tell you the truth, why would you want to go through all of that trouble researching when you have an agency that can do it? Right. And I think the biggest concern is it's going to cost them more money.
Right, and a lot of people ask me, how much do you charge? Right. We don't. Travel agencies generally do not charge anything. Right. Over the last 20 years, because the airlines have cut travel agencies' commissions to zero, we don't make any money on plane tickets. Right. Some agencies will charge for plane tickets, just like a $25 service fee or something like that. Right. I don't do that. But because most of the things I do involve hotels, packages, and there's commissions on all of that. Right. If you see something on the internet, I can definitely either match it or beat it because like all of those advertisements you see on TV that we go to 100 different sites, well, so do I. And because I have to give you the best price because if I don't, you'll never come back to me. Right. And the business is dependent on repeat customers. Right,
and that's important. Like I said, why would you want to do it yourself? You know what you're looking for, and you know what the customer wants. Right. You might book something, you're going to get there, then who do you blame?
Right. Like Disney, for an example, is very involved with the fast passes and the meals and the category of the room and whether you want to stay on site or whether you want to stay off site. And, again, not only do I have personal experience in those things, I can offer people, is it going to cost you a little bit more, but it's more convenient, especially for something like that. But believe me, I've made reservations for dinner and remote restaurants. I'm not making any money on that, but it's just part of the whole package.
Yeah, and you want to make.
I want them happy. I want them to come back and say we had a great trip.
No, and that's good. And I know we're in New Jersey, sort of metropolitan areas. So maybe what are the most popular destinations for people around here?
Well, around here, the Caribbean. Europe, a lot of Italy, a lot of Greece. Young brides, they like to go to Greece. They want to go on their honeymoon to Greece. South Pacific is big. Tahiti, Hawaii is very big. And probably our biggest seller is Aruba. Aruba's an easy sell because Aruba's like almost guaranteed good weather year round. Yeah. And it's below the hurricane belt, so you don't have to worry about that. And like that's one of the things that I like. I don't offer like the Caribbean during August and September because it's hurricane season, and you might not get a hurricane, but you might. And then if you come back and you get hit with something, you'll say, why didn't you tell me it was hurricane season? So during August and September, I'll generally just sell Aruba, down because it's below the hurricane belt.
I don't travel as much as I probably should, but I think the concerns are, you get to the airport, and there's so much red tape, and how do you know what you're doing and where you're going? And the ticket, there's a lot nowadays. It's not like it used to be.
Right, and there are services at airports that will walk you through customs, like things like that. But for people that I can tell are very nervous about what they're doing with traveling, I'll give them number one, get off the plane, go to the right. Number two, do this. Go. Number three, there's hawkers all over the place that'll try to, take, we're your taxi ride, but they're really not. Yeah. So I mean, I know, what to do and tell people. You got to ignore. There's the timeshare people all over the place, like assaulting you left and right. But that's what I can tell when somebody's nervous about traveling.
But that's the important thing about travel. I know the last time I traveled, I had to take off my shoes.
Well, somebody just asked me the other day, they wanted to go to, my kids really want to see Harry Potter, so we want to go to Disney. I said, well, Harry Potter's not in Disney. That's Universal. So like the guy didn't know. He said, it's a good thing that I talked to you because I would have booked Disney and then Harry Potter's at the other park. But I just know things,
Yeah, but it's the expertise is what you're looking for.
And I've been doing this since 1978 on top of the fire department job and all of that. But I just, own the place since 2015.
So what are, I know, the world of terrorism and things, are there any major safety concerns now with travel?
Well, there are places that you have to be concerned about, but like people that have traveled recently to Mexico have been reading a lot about the dangers in Mexico and all that, and I'll tell them, like, there are certain places that you get off the plane and you go to the resort, and then you go back to the plane and you go home. You don't sightsee, you don't do certain things. And I always tell people, never do anything alone, and if you're in a group, it's okay. But like a place like Acapulco used to be a hot spot years and years ago.
Right.
Not anymore because of what's been going on over there. But we're updated regularly on terrorism threats and about dangers for travelers, all over the world. And we'll
it's
tell
definitely
people.
different than it was
Absolutely.
25 years ago. You walked in, you gave your ticket, you hopped on the plane.
Right.
Now you have to weigh your suitcase, your luggage.
I know it's the security
you
is
can only
for
have
a reason.
Shampoo
3 ounces.
bottle is big.
Yeah.
How do you know? I wouldn't know. I did rip my
Right.
luggage apart.
Well, one of the things too that people don't know about is that about their passports and about having them up to date, and that you can't be out of the country if your passport's less than 6 months going to expire. So you can't go to Europe and your passport's expired in 2
Expires right,
months.
yeah.
It has to be good for another 6 months. I don't know why they have that rule, but that's one of the rules. So we always make sure people's passports are updated. And in the future, because we're the only country in the world that everybody doesn't have a passport.
Right. Yes, exactly.
And we didn't used to have a passport for Canada or Mexico.
Right.
Now you do.
Right.
And also sooner, they've been talking about that for years, about getting rid of even domestic flights that you have to use your
'Cause
passport.
now picture ID, driver's license is okay.
Driver's licenses are easy to duplicate.
Yeah.
So,
But obviously, you've done some traveling, and I know Liz has a great question. I'm not too sure what it is.
I have done both. I've used Norman many times. I'd rather go with a travel agent and not my own personal, only because if, God forbid, something should go wrong and you can make one phone call.
And you have someone
Am I
to blame.
correct? Yeah, no, it's not a blaming type
No,
of
I
thing.
know someone that could
it's like
to rectify the situation.
immediately he gets
Right.
on, or
Yeah.
never had a problem with.
I found
Norm,
somebody's
but-
luggage in Miami airport. They were in Cancun. And they called me 3 days later and they said, I said, how's the trip going? And they said, well, I haven't had my luggage since I got here and all. I got off the phone with them. I made some phone calls. I found his luggage in Miami airport,
Right.
and I had it delivered to him in Cancun. So, I mean, that's the things that
Well,
I
that's
can
the nice thing.
take care
you
of.
have the numbers of who to contact.
That's correct.
You don't
Where
have to
an
get on the
average person
phone.
wouldn't know if they booked it on
Right.
themselves on.
Right,
I
right.
don't know some of those. I don't want to mention any,
Yeah.
but I'd rather just have someone. It's not costing me any more,
No.
and I'm getting better service.
Right.
So.
And one more
I would-
question. I
Oh,
know
sorry,
you've
go ahead.
been to a lot of places. Maybe you should list a couple that you've been, or quite a few that you've been. I know you have. Every time I turn around, he's on vacation. However, which was your favorite?
It's very hard to say what the favorite is, but I've been to a lot of great places. I mean, Machu Picchu was outstanding. I mean, it was a bucket list item. I've been there. Tahiti, sitting on the beach here in Bora Bora was outstanding.
I saw those pictures, yes.
Italy is one of my favorite places I've been to, but also being a scuba diver, and I'm leaving in next week to go to Bonaire. It's a
See what I
great,
mean?
it's a great place to
And
go
the
scuba
surprise is
diving.
he's taking all of us with
Yes,
him.
he is.
He's taking.
Sure, if you all pay, there's no problem.
He's
Keep
giving us
telling
a
him.
travel agent discount. But I think the point we're trying to make is here is, sometimes you want to do things on your own because of the internet. But tell you the truth, if you want it done right, you really should go to a travel agent. And Norm just explained some of the things. But I think it's a good idea that you have somebody help you because, like I said, not to blame, but someone to help you in a crisis. So if you're going to travel, I would recommend the travel agent.
Be safe.
Norm,
Thank you,
thanks for
Ray.
the information. I
All right.
appreciate it. Thank you, Liz, for the questions.
You're welcome.
Okay, stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Somewhere up in New York way, where the people are so gay, twisting the night away. Here to have a lot of fun, put your mind on the run. Then you find the old and young, twisting the night away. They're twisting, twisting, everybody's doing great. They're twisting, twisting the night away.
That'll do it for tonight's Meet Clifton. We hope you enjoy the holiday season and hope your 2018 is full of fun, happiness, and good fortune. I'd like to thank our guests for coming on tonight and spreading their knowledge to us, and of course to you at home for joining us yet again. From George and Liz and myself and the rest of the casting crew, remember to be good to your friends and family, respect your neighbors, keep Clifton close to your heart. This is a great city. Thank you, God bless, and good night.